We're human. We can't resist a great story, and like a great story actually is really it's hard to tell.
Welcome to Digital Genius Radio, the #1 podcast focused on guiding you to becoming a certified digital genius. We believe you can have it all by mastering social media paid advertising. We spent the last 3 years studying the most brilliant marketers today and applying their techniques. We've broken free of the 9-to-5 and successfully built a 7-figure online certification platform. From working with hundreds of clients, we found that most are overwhelmed or scared to actually dive into paid advertising. And this podcast is here to give you the cheat codes so you can flourish with your social media channels. Join us and follow along as we continue to learn, apply, and share proven strategies, as well as give you the insights on how to win online with social media paid advertising. And now, here's your hosts, Chris Baden and Sean Malone.
Why are we addicted to Netflix? Why are we addicted to movies? Like, who doesn't, like, type in the chat, yes, if you like movies. I'm not saying you watch them all the time. I know there's the people like, well, I don't even have cable, Chris. But somehow yet you find a way to watch some TV show, some documentary, some movie, and sometimes it's great. A lot of yeses are going through the chat. Here's why. Storytelling. Sean is about to show us a way to make it simpler, to make it faster. And he's got the storytelling matrix. So Sean, tell us a little bit about this matrix.
Yeah, thanks so much for the intro, Chris. That's awesome. All right, guys, check this out. I know there was a few questions that were coming through the chat pool about mini chat. Paige, if you get a chance, could you and Will maybe just jump in and answer? I think Feely's got a question and some of the other ones in there. But guys, tonight I'm going to answer the question. I want to know anybody in the audience right now that's like at this point where they're like, man, I just wish I could write good stories. I wish I had a whole bunch of them. I wish I had a cheat sheet. So if you want a cheat sheet of how to write, or you want a cheat sheet where you can use the cheat sheet to create like lots and lots of stories all at once, write yes in the chat roll, because I want to make sure that you guys want this. Because like this, when I did this the first time around, people were like, oh my God, Sean, this is super duper powerful. Now the teaching comes right out of this book, Expert Secrets. If you guys don't have this book, go get it. Russell Brunson wrote it. It's probably the best one about internet marketing on the planet. Then open it and turn to page 114. If you have the book handy, you can do exactly as I just did, right? 114, there's this cool little diagram here, okay? That's what we're going to be basing the framework off of, and there's 8 major questions in the little diagram that's on the thing. So what I've done is basically collapse timeframes for you. Okay, so what that means is you can build this document, and then you're going to be able to create a whole bunch of stories off of it, okay? And Jessie, since she was the pick a number panelist, super excited. Jessie, it's a little interaction. I hope you're ready for this. I'm going to go to my share screen right now. Chris, let me know when I got a share screen up. That's cool. And there we go. Cool. Can you see?
There we go. We can see it.
All right. Okay, here's how it works. You guys may want to take a screenshot of this page. Hold on, let me just make sure this is good. There we go. Okay. Maybe take a screenshot of this page. Very simple format. Okay, as you see, each column relates to one of the questions that's on page 115 of this book. But what we're going to do is we're going to shorthand all of this. And then I'm going to show you exactly the flow chart or the formula of how to create a bunch of different stories. Okay, so Jessie, are you with me? Just come off mute there.
Yes.
Okay. So, Jessie, what I'd like to do is, here's how you guys start. Now, have a glass of wine, do your thing, get relaxed, get ready to brainstorm. This is a brainstorming exercise. So what you want to do is you want to start the first one in the book. Okay, so I'm going to read the question to you right out of this book so you know exactly what I'm asking. Here's the question for the backstory, okay? So we're going to do this. We're going to just play interactions. The question is this. What is your backstory that gives us a vested interest in your journey? Okay, so now I'm going to start right here, and I'm personally just going to take a few notes. I'm going to ask you, what's your backstory? Why would people be interested in listening to you?
I am from a family of 5, so money was never really very easy to come by. We had a stay-at-home mom, which also made it a little more difficult. But I also wanted to find that source of income online, so tried a couple of different other businesses that ended up failing, and I lost a couple $1,000s doing it as well.
Okay, so you lost money. What else? Tell me a little bit more. Like, you're from North Carolina, you said earlier, with your tattoo. Is that a place you want to stay, or is like, why are you drawn to North Carolina? What's the thing?
I love mountains, hence why I got the tattoo. And I'd like to stay here, but I also love to travel. A couple different countries in Europe have crossed my mind many times. I ended up going to college, getting 2 bachelor's degrees and not being able to use either one.
Okay, that's a good one. Couldn't use degrees. Okay. Okay, cool. So we can stop there. I just want to, for intensive purposes, show you guys how this activity works. I'm going to actually do an example for you here, Jesse. You're going to love this. It's cool because you'll have a quick little move. Okay, so you can see here, guys, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 different backstories now that we've just created in less than a minute for Jesse to use. Each one of these could be the backstory to her whole story. So now I'm going to ask you the second question in the book, Jesse, is this. The second question says, should really just leave this open. It says on 115 here, what is it that you want to accomplish? Okay, so tell me, what is it internally that you truly want to accomplish in your lifetime?
There's a couple of close friends that I would love to have them move in with me and for them not to have to pay rent.
Okay, help friends. Okay, that's an external because, okay.
Internal, I want my freedom back.
Okay, want freedom. Okay, what else?
Oh gosh.
What does freedom mean to you? Like, what's the internal thing? Like, would it give you fulfillment? Would it, like, what's gonna light you up inside?
Being able to dictate how I spend my time.
Own your schedule.
Yes.
Okay, what else?
Something that's gonna light my fire.
Okay, your fire's not lit. Why is your fire not lit?
Majorly because I don't own my own schedule.
Okay.
That's my main.
Okay. I want you to brainstorm a little more. It's a little painful right now, but I want you to get in there, right? So like an internal desire would be like, prove it to myself. Like, that's a good one. Like, get over my fear, right? Your fear of failure. Like, that's an internal thing, right? So like, I'm just going to throw those out because you said those earlier. Get over your fear of failure. This is cool. Watch, guys. This is going to turn into something magical here in just about 2 seconds. All right. So I'm just going to space this thing out. Okay, cool. So now we've got 3 different desires that we can pull from. Now we got 2 external. You were just saying them. What else do you want to accomplish externally?
Like I said earlier, give my mom the trip of her dreams.
Okay, so mom, the trip of dreams. What else?
I would love to own my own house.
Own my own house. What else?
Be able to tell my family about this business because I haven't told them yet.
Okay, so nervous to tell friends and fam what you're doing. Is that because of your fear of failure or fear of what they're going to tell you?
It's both.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So those are good for now. We'll start here. And okay, so there we go. Okay, we got a couple here in this column now. Now let's go to what's the thing that stopped you so far. Now you mentioned to me earlier that you've tried and failed. Okay, so that's a wall. What else has happened to you that has caused you to hit this wall and not be successful prior to moving into our community?
Something usually happens as soon as I started a business where maybe I had to pay more in taxes one year, so I couldn't afford the annual or the monthly
unexpected bills. Stops momentum. How about that? Okay, what else?
Too much. All those other times I tried, I was in college, and so there were so many papers and assignments, so sidetracked.
Not enough time. Got it. Okay, we can stop there for sense of purpose. Just want to make sure this is very easy for everyone to understand what I'm doing here. Okay, cool. All right. Now, the epiphany. What was the thing that you saw, heard, or listened, or found that drew you into our program? What was the thing? The thing you saw, like you saw Cheyenne's ad? Is that what happened? Or
Yes.
okay. What was the ad about?
They were talking about being a millennial, and just being able to have their own time and have their own schedule.
Okay. Have own time and schedule. Okay, so there you go. That's cool. We only need one real big epiphany. That's cool. Let's go on to the plan. So after you saw that ad, what was your plan? Because you knew you'd failed in the past, and then you're like, oh my God, I saw this thing. Like, what was your plan?
I gathered a lot of information.
Okay.
Watched a lot of different videos.
Okay. Okay, so you got info. What else?
I needed to make sure that Cheyenne was a real person, so had a face-to-face call with her.
Legit. Okay. And then what else?
After my coaching call, I had just to make sure that everything was going to line up properly, that I could set my budget up how it needed to be, and all of that kind of stuff.
So set budget for success. Oops.
Yes.
Okay, cool. All right, so that's a good plan to at least get started. Now, as you're getting started into this business and you're growing and you're learning and your mind is exploding, like what was the biggest problem that you encountered in your life? With growing your business, I should say.
Yeah. So when I started, I had a full-time job, full-time grad school, and then here comes a full-time side business.
Okay. So time was a big thing. What was the other conflict?
A couple friends kind of picked up on what I was doing, and they were very lenient and hating on me.
Okay. What else?
My failure would just keep coming back. And it's like, is this really going to work? Is this really going to be successful?
Okay. What else? Any other ones?
I guess another one was always money, because when you think about how much to set your ad budgets at,
got it.
like, can I afford to do that?
All right, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Now, let's say fast forward about 12 months from now and everything works just dandy. We wave a magic wand and you're living like Ashley Crooks is living. I can't wait to hear her story in a minute because she's like amazing. But what is the achievement that you're going to, you said, become a 6A. Okay, what else?
At that point, I'm hoping that I have given my friends a rent-free place to live.
Okay. And rent-free place. Okay, what else?
And given Mom her dream trip.
Dream trip. Okay, cool. Now, so there's your achievements. And as you've gone through this whole entire journey, what would you say is the biggest transformation that you're going to experience, maybe that you haven't experienced quite yet?
I think one of the things that has started and will continue to go is the change of my mindset.
Okay, be more specific. Can't just say that. A little bit more specific. What about your mindset?
Going from almost like this poor mindset of I can't afford to do this, I don't have time for this, and changing it to, well, I do have the time, but where am I spending it? How am I using that time in other ways that I can maybe not be on my phone as much and focus more on planning and getting ahead of posts or ads.
Okay. So taking back your time, I think, is kind of in a roundabout way of saying that, right?
Yes.
Okay. And then I'm going to throw one in here too, because Ashley always tells me this. Become the best version of yourself, right? So we always talk about doing that. So there's a couple of good ones there that we can play with. Now we filled out the matrix. Let's say it might take you guys a little bit longer to do this, but again, this is an incredible exercise. It's going to change everything for you. Okay, now here's the next step. Once you've got this thing filled out, I want everyone to be very clear on this. You can do this every time with anything. It works in any industry, any business, anywhere, okay? So what we're going to do next is I'm going to come back here. I'm going to grab the circular tool here. And let me just change the format of the circular tool with no fill. There we go. And I'll make the outline red. Oh, come on. Sorry for my not good skills here, but we will change the border to a little bit thicker and we'll make it red just so you guys can very clearly see what I'm doing. All right. So now we have this circle here. So as of the backstory, I want you to focus on backstory for a column for a second. Which one is the most important to you?
I think my most important is the tried and failed.
Okay, cool. So we're going to put a little circle around that one. Okay. Next column. What is the biggest one for you?
Getting over fear of failure.
Okay. So we're going to move this circle right to here. All right. Say now you know the game. Let's play. What's the next column?
Mom, the trip of dreams.
Mom, trip of dreams. Okay, what's the next one?
Not enough time.
Not enough time. What's the next one?
The ad from Cheyenne.
Okay, so this one's going to be in there no matter what. This is the epiphany. That one's going to stay. All right, cool. What's the next one?
Needed to verify it's legit.
Okay, that was the most important because you've been burned in the past, yes? Got it. Okay. Now what's the next one? Biggest conflict?
Full-time job.
Full-time job, taking up all your time, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then lastly, if you had to choose just one of those, achievement and transformations, which would be the most important to you?
Becoming 6A.
Okay, so hitting the top rank.
Mm-hmm.
And what about your transformation?
Become best version of yourself.
Becoming the best version of yourself. Okay, cool. So guys, what I've just done is I've mapped out a story for Jesse. Does that make sense? So you draw all your backstories and then you circle the ones of the story that you're going to write. Now what I'm going to do, just so you guys can kind of hear how this sounds, is I'm going to unscreen share. And actually, no, I'm going to leave the screen share up and you can see my mouse here. I'm actually going to just move my mouse along as I'm telling this story in a way that she could tell the story. Here's the best part, Jesse. You can take this replay. You can grab just the section that I'm telling this story, send it to Rev, get it transcribed, and now you have a kick-ass story ad when I'm done with you, okay? This is a good thing, right? Are you excited?
Yes.
Okay. Here's, let me get into character here. Okay. Take off my glasses here. So I've never done this before, guys. This is going to be awesome. I've never said this story before, but this is cool. This is kind of how it can sound in your world, which is going to be awesome. All right. You ever had that feeling where you just try, but you beat your head up against the wall? Like, this happened to me so many times, I can't even explain it to you. And I've tried so many different ways to get out of the cycle, but I find myself going down this deep, dark spiral, and it turns into this negative loop. And the worst thing that happens to me is I get all this head trash, and I find myself at the bottom of every whiskey bottle. Can you relate with that? Okay, cool. So here's the thing. Like, I have this lifestyle that I'm not really okay with anymore. And I needed to find a way to crack out of it. I needed to break out of it, right? And I needed to figure out a way, because every time I had failed, I always found myself building up this bigger and bigger fear. And then what happened is this: I would go and I would look at these other programs that I could try and I could do, and like they could possibly help me break out of the old life that I had. And, you know, like, I want to live on the beach. I don't want to be in North Carolina anymore. I want to twinkle my toes in the sand and, go in swimming in the oceans and everything else. But the thing is that every time I failed, it just built up. And it was like, this molehill out of a mountain concept was like, I had this mountain of fear because I had failed so many freaking times. And all I ever really wanted to do was focus on winning or changing my situation financially so that I could give my mom the trip of her dreams. Like, that was my big focus, because I love my parents. My mom has given so much to me. and I couldn't give back. And I haven't been able to give back. And it's been eating at my soul deep down internally at me. And I know I'm better than what I'm getting, like I'm underpaid. I'm overworked. I'm doing all these things. I'm working for these other people. I'm building up their dreams. And I just keep thinking to myself, like, what am I doing? Like, the system's broken. Traditional education sucks. It's not in the thing anymore, right? And the problem was, every time I would try one of these things, like, look, I'm a college student, right? I'm working my way through college. I'm a millennial. I'm getting into the next place. But the thing is I never have enough time. And what do I mean by that? Well, look, I have to write these term papers, these essays. I have to take finals. I have to go walk my dog. I have to go spend some time over here and there and do all these other things. And the problem is I never have like a focused amount of time where I could dive in. And then one day I was sitting on the couch when I was completely exhausted and just out of my mind, just like, how am I going to fix this? I want to give my mom the trip of her dreams. I don't know what I'm doing. And this thing popped into my feed. And this young girl was like younger than me, but she was living the lifestyle that I was like craving. She was on the beach and she started talking about this whole thing about like, you can own your own schedule. And in fact, as I was listening to her story, she had a bigger education than I was getting. Like, she's an engineering degree, like in mechanical engineering, but she dropped out of college. And at that moment, I realized that was the thing that hit me in the head. I said, oh my God, she dropped out. I can do it too. And when I knew that I could do it too, I said, I'm going to build a plan. But the problem was I need to verify that it was legit. Why? Because everything online is either a gimmick or a scam. Let's be real. Like I said, I've tried and failed so many different times. I spent all this money and I haven't gotten anywhere yet. But I have learned some things along the way. But every single program had these potholes. So I needed to verify that the thing that she was doing was actually legit. So what I do, I got a bunch of info. I watched a bunch of videos. I talked to her personally. Like, how often do you get to talk to somebody? And she just confirmed all of my suspicions. It was real. It was legit. It was backed up by a product that's kick-ass, right? And the coolest part was I could do it. And I was so excited about it. But here was the thing. As I dove in, because I dove in right away because I knew this was the thing, everything kept getting in the way. Remember, I told you that. It was like I had these term papers and I had this full-time job and I was doing all this other stuff. And it was like I couldn't really figure it out. But that's when my coach, the girl that I saw from the ad, had like a whole plan dialed in for me. And I was so grateful, right? Because if I couldn't get a hold of her, I could go to this community that I had access to. And I had 10 other people on my coaching staff. And it was epic because they answered all these questions that I couldn't do myself. And like the best part was, because I was working this full-time job, when I had a question, I couldn't get a hold of my coach, I could send a note into this group of people and then they would respond to me on their time and I could go back when I had time. What I found was this platform was everything to me. Because usually when people climb online, there's all these different softwares they got to master. And this program said, if I master social media paid advertising, the one skill, the one thing that I can do to win the game, everything's over. And then they said, my question was this, how much time does it take? And the response was 1 to 3 hours a day, part-time, get started. And I was like, I could do 1 to 3 hours a day. That's cool. And then as I got, it's like I'm moving in this program and I'm moving forward and I was able to like release some of the stuff that I was doing and I started spending more time and I fell in love with this thing. And I fell in love with the coaching and the training and it was just epic. And I have a product that I'm so excited about. And here's the coolest part, guys. I have now gotten to the place where I have a clear path. I'm not there yet. I'm on my way, but I have a clear path to being one of the top people in my organization, right? That means that they print their own schedule. That means just like my coach, I can go travel the world and do the things. But here's the thing, remember? I wanted to give my mom that trip. That was the most important thing to me. But at the same time, I wanted to be recognized as one of the best. And now I have a pathway to get there. The cool part is that my journey has only just begun and I'm feeling like I'm becoming the best version of myself. And I couldn't be more excited about it. So check this out. Like if you have a story similar to this, because I don't know if you do, this isn't for everybody, but if you do, and it kind of relates to you, like check it out. There's a link in the comments below above. Just click that link, drop a name and email in, watch a free video and learn if this platform is for you. Look, I had to make sure it was legit. Maybe that's you too. If that's the case, let's jump on a call and talk, but like click that link, watch that video first. That's the first step. And then we'll know. And if this is for you, look, I'm going to grab you by the hand and I'm going to walk you step by step through until you hit your goals. I'll see you on the inside.
Thanks for listening to Digital Genius Radio. We'd love it if you could share our podcast with 3 others that you think could get some value from it. Don't forget to like and subscribe to our channel. And remember, hit that notifications button so we can alert you for each new episode that comes out. You're on your way. You've gained knowledge and you've gotten smarter. You're becoming a certified digital genius. To continue on the right path, go to challenge.digitalgeniusradio.com and prove you have what it takes. Again, that's challenge.digitalgeniusradio.com. Enter your name and email and get started becoming a master of your own destiny.